Oh, yeah!
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Spear from the Past. Today is going to be a little bit different because we've added TNA Ring of Honor pay-per-views because it was actually thanks to JPO. He pointed out that TNA, like Ring of Honor, has some pay-per-views on YouTube, and so does TNA. So I've added those into the bill, and we spent our first one last time. We were talking about TNA Hard Justice 2008, and it's kind of really different because like the first thing I noticed was the different shaped ring for it. I don't know if there's a reason behind it or if they just
I
wanted
did.
to be different.
I'm trying to think because we're not at the Hogan era, so yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, as I always start off,
You mean the six sided? Oh, you mean I
the
thought I
six
was gonna say
sided.
the four one. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no. So I'm trying to think when they debuted. I want to say on Impact, their Impact show. I think that's when it started.
yeah,
It differentiated them, man. It made
yeah,
them different. I know. I stopped collecting toys because I was a grown ass 15-year-old boy, and then they came out with like the TNA line. I was like, I gotta at least have them as like collector's items because they were just it was cool looking, And a lot of people, AJ Styles even argued it was harder to work because again, just the way it's like built. But he's like, but he never wanted to get rid of it. They only got rid of it, I think, in 2010ish, 11ish, when like Hulk Hogan kind of took over for a little bit. Hogan and Bischoff. But yeah, I always thought the six sided was cool and made him look different.
but yeah, as I always start these off as I always do an on this day segment. On the day that TNA had just 2008 one, this was August the 10th on 2008. The number one movie was The Dark Knight. The number one song in the US was I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry. The number one album was Breakout by Miley Cyrus. And some things I decided to add in because we are talking about a different company. The WWE champion at the time was Triple H. The Ring of Honor champion at the time was Nigel McGuinness. And the WWE World Heavyweight champion was CM Punk, because this was around the time he cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Can I do my own?
You can.
No, just and I had no idea. In fact, even after watching it, I didn't even know until I looked at the date on Cage Match. This is my birthday, August 10th. So I'm turning 18 on this day. I definitely didn't see it live. I don't think. I don't think I ever saw this one live, but I did 4 days later. I looked it up and I was like, because I remember looking at PD and the first match, PD and Consequences, going, I feel like I've seen this match live. Like definitely not this match,
Yeah.
but this pairing live. 4 days later, there was a house show in Fort Myers that had this exact match open up that show too. So I did see a couple of these matches live a few days later.
See, I didn't even know that when I did this. I just invited JPL because it was a TNA pay-per-view, and then that seemed to be the one that was on the birthday.
No, so wait, I went cool. I forgot that it was an August show because now the August is normally, well, I guess they changed it. It used to be Bound for Glory for a minute. I don't even know what August is anymore. It's not Hard Justice, I don't think.
Yeah. But at the start, it started off like a kind of like open up the video package with the backstage interview person, which I think her name was Lauren, as I found out later on the show. But
I was gonna say it also starts off kind of like a Law and Order episode, like
It's that Law and Order kind of opening thing.
Dun dun, yeah.
But then the backstage interview trying to get an interview of Sting, who just sort of walks past and doesn't answer anything.
Yes, they're doing this whole thing of like if Sting is maybe evil or not. It's kind of blurry. Kind of reminds me of like '96 heel Crow Sting, kind of.
Then we had this rap group run out, which kind of randomly came out. Like, I don't think they were ever introduced, at least not that I recognized. It's like they just came out to do rap.
They vaguely mentioned it on commentary for us. I don't know if they have an intro. Maybe in the arena they did, but I was surprised by that. Like, I was like, oh, okay, random rap song, okay.
I mean, I've slowly. I don't think I have ever heard of this rap group before at all.
No, I was gonna say like not to knock TNA, but I don't think they're getting they're not getting A-listers on Hard Justice at this point. The rap world.
Yeah,
they're not getting Wu-Tang Clan. They're getting whoever these guys were.
Yeah, but the first match that we actually had was Petty Williams defeats Consequences Creed for the TNA X Division Championship. If you don't know Consequences Creed is, you'll know him better as Xavier Woods.
New Day.
Which I honestly had no idea he was in TNA before he was in WWE. So this was the nice
Oh
surprise.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, no, he's kind of doing the like Apollo Creed type gimmick here. Oh yeah, he's a TNA guy first.
yeah, um, but um, but the X Division is basically the version of the Cruiserweight Championship. And I thought the match was actually is it slightly different?
Sometimes, so they have differentiated at times because their quote always from the beginning was, "It's not about weight limits; it's about no limits." I'd say 8 times out of 10, it's all the cruiserweights, but they have had people like Samoa Joe, Abyss, Bobby Lashley. They've also held the title, so they've kind of skewed from that occasionally in the past.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of there's. I would say the majority of the time, it is a fast-paced cruiserweight style title.
yeah. But the match itself, I thought was actually pretty good. Like, I might even argue this might be one of the better singles matches I've seen. Like, Consequence Creed Xavier Woods, like in his career. And it was just like fast paced, really energetic. And it really made me excited to see more, especially more from Petey Williams, who like I sort of don't really know much about. But yeah, it's one of those ones like I kind of wish it didn't end the way it did. I kind of wish it ended clean, but it's like, but yeah, Sheikh Abdul Rashid, who I think is what he's known as here. He's better known as Sean Davari.
Yeah,
Attacked
currently with
Creed.
the WWE, he's
Yeah,
doing the backstage guys. You'll see him do pull aparts for brawls now.
yeah. But he attacked Creed with a chair, which I don't understand why it wasn't a DQ finish. Like, it just seemed to be just there. They still got it pinned. But Jordan, JPO, what are your thoughts about this match?
Yeah, no, I mean, good matcher, man. Yeah, PD and Consequences are really good. I was a big fan of Consequences, so I was excited when he got signed. I got to see him kind of even more in FCW as a Florida guy. So even before he was on television, so I knew he was like a really good like singles guy too. Like that's why I think he definitely could be, an IC US champ one day. You know, if he ever goes singles again. Yeah, PD's kind of doing his. I think it's Maple Leaf Muscle. If you look, he's blonde at this moment. Usually he's more brown, dark hair, but I think he's kind of like he's like mini Scott Steiner. And also the his manager, Rekha Khan. If you ever have a couple minutes, Google her. She ended up, I think, suing several people later on, and is kind of nuts from what I've heard. So, but yeah, no, this is a good match. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could have kept it a little more clean. That's what I liked about the X Division. Is a lot of times it is more just match based than like necessarily gimmicky based. But this one's one that kind of skewed outside of that. But still, I think it was pretty good. Other than a match we'll talk about later, probably singles wise, my second favorite match of the night.
Yeah. But then next up, we had a backstage injury with Samoa Joe and Kevin Nash, who quickly leaves to go talk to Sting. But which was just a pretty standard backstage interview. Don't think there was much to say about this. But then next up, we had a 6-woman tag team match with Gail Kim, ODB, and Taylor Wilde, who was the TNA Knockout champion at the time. Who from what I've sort of read up, she did something similar to Santino when he debuted in WWE, just come out of the crowd to do this challenge to win the championship. And they defeated Awesome Kong and the Beautiful People, who I think, if I remember rightly, I think ODB, Beautiful People, Gail Kim, they're all in the Hall of Fame, aren't they?
Yeah, the Beautiful People got inducted this year. In fact, it just
Yeah,
happened like a month or two ago back, or not, actually not, but less than a month ago because it was right before Bound for Glory. Yeah, Gail Kim is maybe the first female. Yeah, she actually just debuted for GCW because she actually had kind of an abrupt falling out with TNA. Even
yeah,
after she was done wrestling, pretty much, she was still kind of like the producer, especially of the females. But yeah, she had a very abrupt falling out, so she's kind of a free agent right now in that sense of the word.
yeah. But what were your thoughts about the match?
It was good. The knockouts. I give the Knockouts a lot of credit here because this is kind of still in the point where like WWE is still not quite there, and like and TNA I think actually really helped lead that way for the women here. I was a big fan. I think Taylor Wilde did pretty good. Um, Beautiful people more they were more gimmicky than necessarily like great wrestlers, but they did their gimmick part as well. Gail Kim I think is great. ODB, shout out to her too. She I believe she's having her last year in 2026 as well. I believe her last run. And yeah, Awesome Kong. Unfortunately, it really got a shake in the WWE. She would be Karma, but would end up getting pregnant before she could have her first match, and then leaving the
Yeah.
company. She could have been great. She's a great, fun actress too, though. If you ever watch Glow, she's quite good on Glow, the TV
Yeah, no,
show.
I did watch Glow. She was
Yeah,
great.
yeah. She's funny
Uh,
too, man. Watch like a shoot interview. She doesn't hold back either. She's a truth teller. Yeah, she'll talk some shit or some truth. Yeah, she's funny.
yeah, and
Yeah, we
yeah, no,
wowie.
yeah, I enjoyed this match. Like, it's always interesting seeing, especially like Gal Kim and Awesome Kong are probably the two people I do know because of WWE. But
Yeah.
it's like, it was good to finding out about some of these other ones. And who the hell is messaging me?
Also, shout out to the referees Tracy Brooks, who is literally also Hall of Fame, by the way. Tracy Brooks, I think that was
Yeah,
last year. Sweetheart, like one of the nicest people. Like she was very kind when I met her.
um, but yeah, I think I mean, for a 6-person tag team match, I thought it was pretty good. Like, as they use like they usually do, like they get everyone in to do some like action, like give everyone a little bit of a spotlight. I did find it interesting about the ref Tracy Brooks getting involved in the match. Was she like a guest ref? Was like, so I don't think they even made it clear that it was a guest ref. Was she always just a ref? So,
No, I mean it's hard to tell without knowing all the impacts leading up
yeah,
to it. No, she was a competitor, but I think like I don't know how to put it. Kind of like you know how like Scarlett, you know what I mean, like in WWE, where like she didn't necessarily wrestle. I think all the time, like she wasn't always like a weekly wrestler. You know what I mean? But she definitely could. This kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? If that makes
yeah,
sense. So yeah. So I think and she might have been the female ref at the time. Actually, now that I think about it, like maybe that was kind of more of her gimmick at this particular point. But she was a
yeah.
known wrestler. She had one of the first people to be with the company. She debuted like in 04, 05, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I just sort of interesting with the and we're kind of seeing that now with the whole Becky Lynch and Jessica Carr thing. But Jessica Carr, I believe, is wrestling in Evolve as Calix.
Yeah. Well,
So
the interesting thing about WWE is a lot of their refs are just straight up wrestlers now. That's something they kind of look for.
yeah,
Because I mean that Spanish ref Eddie, he was a wrestler. The Asian ref Bowen, maybe I'm thinking of SNL, but he's a
yeah,
wrestler. And then yeah, Jessica. I knew Jessica. In fact, when she stays at my friend's house when if she's nearby in Florida to save money on a hotel. Great girl, great wrestler. Got signed. And yeah, there is rumors too that like they're teasing like, oh, could she fight Becky? Like that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, so we'll see. So yeah, it makes sense that like in Evolve that like she's kind of a player coach over there because
yeah,
she's been with the company now for several years. She would still perform at the PC. So
yeah. But yeah, the match was like pretty good, and yeah, it's just not a lot. Really enough, not like apart from the like ref involvement and that, not a lot of big talking points in the match. But then they've got this sort of backstage segment again with Lauren following Team 3D into the going into the rafters to talk to Sting, and Billy Ray is apparently scared of heights, while Devon is scared of the dark, which they're just taunting each other about throughout that segment. Then they go up to talk to Sting about trying to find out what's going on. He still doesn't say much, but it was a fun segment. But then next up we had Beer Money Inc., James Storm and Robert Roode defeat the Latin American Exchange, Hernandez and Homicide for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. And this is a fun. Like I'll probably end up saying a lot of the same things, but this was a pretty good match. And I thought it was enjoyable. Like James Storm is someone am vaguely familiar with. I've heard that name many times. Was he in? I think he might have been in WWE once before. Rob,
So
Robert.
he's a day one TNA guy, literally on their very first show ever. Team with
Yeah,
Psychosis in a very random team, and
yeah.
he did some NXT things. That's just the
I
time when like NXT would use like an Alex Shelley or Rhino for like a couple shows randomly, and he was like that. He was in like 2 or 3 NXT matches. Yeah, they
yeah,
thought maybe he'd get signed, but he didn't for whatever reason.
yeah. But it was always good seeing more of Robert Roode as well. I've always liked Robert Roode before he sort of I don't know if but I think he's retired now because he's I don't know a backstage producer for WWE and that
Yeah, he's backstage now. It's been kind of murky as to whether or not he could wrestle again. Like I don't know if he's like at that like he's not like in a former like like Edge was like done, but like it definitely seems for the time being, if not for permanently, that yeah he's done. So which sucks because I thought he could have been bigger in WWE because
I
he
yeah.
rose the ranks in TNA from like tag team to mid card to and he's world champ in the next like 2-3 years from here I think.
But it was definitely a lot of fun. Like seeing Hernandez and Homicide. Homicide's another name that I've heard of before, but that's probably mostly because like from what I've been reading about AEW and stuff and various other places. So I have read a lot about TNA. I haven't this first time I actually watched all. No, this is probably the second time because I'd watched a few impacts when they were airing on YouTube earlier this year. But but JP, what were your thoughts about this tag team championship match?
No, it was pretty good. This is a good sample of like the tag division of this era. Beer Money ended up seemed random at first. Just one of those typical like I don't really have anything for you at this moment, and you for this moment, we'll put you together. But it ended up being really fun. They put a lot of effort into this. They were fun on promos too. And then yeah, LAX would be a long-standing dominant team, and TNA. A couple different iterations, but I think if you say LAX, Homicide and Hernandez are the first two to come to mind. In this particular division. Later on, it'll be Ortiz and Santana for a little while as well, actually.
Yeah,
So no, pretty good match here. Yeah, Homicide, kind of an indie legend. Literally, he's part of the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, he's someone that actually had some injuries that forced him to retire early this year, very abruptly. He was a Ring of Honor guy since day one, TNA guy for about 3 years at this point, maybe. And yeah, former Ring of Honor World Champion. Yeah, he's got a long standing career in everywhere but WWE.
yeah. Um, but um, but yeah, the next up we had Kevin Nash touring the Sting, which seems to be the big theme going through this whole thing about them trying to
Yeah.
talk to Sting, find out what's going on while he was doing that stuff he was doing, which is really interesting seeing these backstage segments without knowing any of the context of what Sting was up to before
It's
this.
rough too, yeah. Because even though I saw the house show a couple days later, I feel like I'm not necessarily watching the weekly TV at this point.
Yeah,
And like even back in the day, so yeah, it's kind of rough being thrown into it.
yeah. But then we had this match, which was really weird kind of gimmick, which was the black tie brawl and chain match with Jay Lethal defeating Sanjay Dutt, which was a which from what I could understand is you had to win the match either by pinfall or to be stripped of the tux, and then for some reason you were randomly chained together in the chain match because um, but, um, but but it was just this uh, this match had some fun spots, especially when Jay Lethal put his chain on the rope at the start, and and just attacked Sanjay Dutt while he was sort of trying to get unchained, but the match itself wasn't really that good. It was just one of those ones where it feels like it was just thrown together like relatively last minute ish, or was just like one of those ones where it's like, we need people on this card, do this random gimmick, and but JP, what were your thoughts about this match?
Yeah, I mean, and much love and respect to everyone involved. I know Val; she's a sweetheart. She's awesome. Sanjay a little bit. I'm friends with Jay Lethal, so like I sing the praises high of Jay Lethal. He's I think one of the most undersung wrestlers out there. This is just gimmicky fodder. This is one of those like it's more just trying to entertain and like trying to have a banger of a match here. You know what I mean? Like these are in a feud
Yeah,
right now. It would end pretty soon. I feel like this was like really heavily focused on for like 2-3 months, and then like kind of forgotten about. Like I feel like Val's not even on TV and like a couple months from now. So yeah, it's kind of whatever. This is the kind of thing that like I would argue like put it on TV. And maybe not, on the
yeah,
wrestling show have just a good wrestling match because these two can definitely have a great wrestling match, but this was just kind of whatever. Any tuxedo match is gimmicky. I've talked about having a
yeah.
tuxedo match soon because they're usually just kind of gimmicky fodder.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact they combined the tuxedo match with a chain match was like weird. It's just like
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's a hat on a hat, if you will. Right,
yeah.
right.
But then we had a backstage interview with Booker T, which I honestly forgot he was in TNA at this point. So I actually thought he was still in WWE around this time. So it must have been really close. I'm pretty sure I saw a pay per view of him in 2006 in WWE. So it's like he can't. He must have gone to TNA really short, not too long around this time. Um, But the next match we had is Christian Cage and Rhino defeating Team 3D, in which I made the mistake earlier calling them Bully Ray and Devon, but they were Brother Devon and Brother Ray in TNA.
Yeah, he's not bully for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but they were in a New Jersey street fight, and like for a street fight, the scene like this didn't seem to be as hardcore as other street fights I've seen. But I thought the match was pretty good though. It's like I've always been a big fan of Christian. Like as a wrestler, I think he has a habit of bringing out the best in like anyone, and just seeing him face like Team 3D is like who's had a lot of history with in WWE before this and all that. And I thought the match was pretty fun. Then you had Johnny Devine, I believe his name was, coming down post match to attack. And then Abyss comes down for the save. But and also it's really fun just seeing Abyss on this one, but because especially with the fact they've added him into the WWE 2K25 with his TNA theme and all that. It's like, so it gives me hope for the next game where we might see more TNA stars. Maybe it's not really confirmed yet. But JB, what are your thoughts about this tag match?
Yeah, I meant to say too. 4 days later, I would see LAX versus Beer Money again. So I got to see that live too. No,
Yeah,
yeah, this is another fun one here. I would have again as a booker maybe separated like the chain match and this, maybe separate the gimmicky parts. But no, this is good, man. Yeah, if you mentioned Christian, like this is where like he had just left WWE not too long ago, and he comes to TNA to like I think prove himself as like a main eventer, and he was man like he did some really fun stuff in TNA. I think it's what got him back to the WWE and then made him a world heavyweight champion when his feud with Randy Orton not too long after this. So yeah, got to shine here. Yeah. Yeah, just fun match, fun, some weapons, nothing crazy, kind of your typical like a hardcore match on a WWE episode,
yeah. And then we had an interview with then next up we had an interview with AJ Styles about his match, which was a pretty standard, like which and then he was also asked about Sting at one point in this interview too. But that which leads into the match of AJ Styles versus defeating Kurt Angle in a last man standing match. And look, I thought this match was like, excuse the pun, but I thought it was pretty phenomenal. um, but yeah, so there's I was like ever since AJ Styles was in WWE, like I've become a fast fan of him, and it was actually like it's actually good to be able to go back and watch him like when he was in TNA, where he was still pretty good and all that, and he's never really lost a step. And then after the match, Styles attacked Kurt. I think like he effectively turning heel, but then and then Sting comes out to attack Styles, and then Kevin Nash comes out and acts like a father and like tells Sting to explain himself, which is like, um, which he never does. But what are your thoughts about this match, JPO?
Yeah, dude. No, dude. You tell me on paper, Kurt Angle versus I was going to say same version. Kurt Angle versus AJ. I know it's going to be a great match here. Yeah, no, these two are tremendous or phenomenal. You said it. Yeah, no, I tuned into actually even Ring of Honor back in the day just because I had heard the name AJ Styles. Like, this is a dude who was like making noise even if you didn't watch like TNA or Ring of Honor, and he very much is a reason why someone like me stuck around because he is just fucking phenomenal. We said it already. And then yeah, Kurt Angle had done his leave of absence from WWE, and he came to TNA. Dude, check out anything Angle versus Samoa Joe, Angle versus AJ is fantastic here. Angle and Christian also has said they had some good stuff. So yeah, if you put these together, yeah, this is match of the night. These two worked such great stuff together here. Yeah, this is a tremendous match. This is yeah, anything AJ versus Kurt when they were given time in TNA. Yeah, go out
Yeah.
of your way to watch.
And then we move into the main event, which was Samoa Joe versus Booker T in a weaponized 6 sides of steel cage match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. And yeah, look, and and it's one of those ones. I get it. It was the main event because it's the World Heavyweight Championship. I think they could have switched it and have AJ and Kurt as the main event. While I did enjoy like this match, I thought they would have got and while they did, it was fairly brutal. I thought it would have been it was going to be a lot more brutal than what it was, and then the finish where the lights sort of go out and Samoa Joe somehow got a guitar is like how they managed to which really interesting timing. And I'm fairly certain Jeff Jarrett was in TNA around this time, but I know he used the guitar. I don't know if that's what that means. But yeah, but JBO, what are your thoughts about the 6 sides of steel cage match?
Yeah, I was looking up Booker T for you, by the way. Like, yeah, no, he had a quick transition. He's with WWE until about SummerSlam, August of 2007, and then he's popping up in TNA by November. So,
Yeah,
2007. So, yeah, he's one of those quick transitions. And just like now with WWE and AEW, it is fun to see the people that get stolen and switch back and forth.
yeah,
TNA's taking, Booker T, Christian, obviously, Kurt Angle. There's some big accusations they made within these few years.
yeah,
They able to get Sting signed and not WWE. So yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, match quality. Yeah, the other match is way better. The other match also too. I mean, even just looking at the times here, like 25 minutes, AJ and Kurt Angle throw the house down. This doesn't even reach 15. Like
yeah,
I don't know at this point if Booker T is giving 5-star matches anymore. So it was good, but yeah, it was. It's tough to kind of top that last one here. I get it. Yeah, it's the world title and it's a cage match, so it kind of has to be last, almost by like standard wrestling rules. But again, if you just go by the
yeah,
banger, yeah, the other one, your main event as far as quality wise was the last match. But no, I mean, otherwise it was fun. You said lights out, some TNA shenanigans here, but still a pretty good match here. So at least fun enough. Fun enough. Yeah.
yeah. But that sort of brings us to the end of this pay per view. But if you go back in time and change a booking decision in this pay per view, JPO, what would you pick?
Oh man, you should have told me beforehand, because I gave this some thought. Let's see. Well, we only had what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we had 7 matches here. Um, maybe make Jay and Dud more of just a normal match here instead of the gimmicky match it was. Or like just let the first match kind of be clean because it's for the X Division title. And while I don't mind the women's match, like maybe just make that because a 6-person on pay per view doesn't seem very spectacular for me. That seems also more like a TV match, but
Yeah.
nothing too major here. I would say. What you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's maybe not have like have like Sheikh Abdul Rashad attack Creed sort of after the match and not sort of like near the end of the match, factoring into the finish. Because as I said, it should have been a DQ. Like if they were going to do that, it should have either been a DQ finish or he attacked afterwards. Like
no DQ, not on pay-per-view.
but
No.
well, yeah, no, I get that, which is why I think it should. It's just weird because it wasn't like a gimmick match where they could have done like a attack in the middle of the match without it consequences. But it's like it just seemed random that like it was just a normal-ish match, but yeah, it is what it is. But overall, what do you think of the pay-per-view, JPO?
Yeah, I mean, this is the point in TNA where like there's some good, there's some. I don't know if anything here was bad. I mean, you could argue maybe like again that Jay and that one's kind of whatever. Otherwise, I'd say everything is pretty positive base here for me here. Main event a little underwhelming based on it being the main event, but still watchable here. So still pretty fun. Again, it's free on YouTube. I think it's just straight up on their channel now, right? Like it's not even like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
on the
yeah.
TNA YouTube itself. They uploaded about a year ago. So yeah, always fun to kind of go back and see kind of where TNA was at its points because yeah, they've had a really crazy ride and they continue to do some crazy things like take the title off Ortiz and give it to Kazarian after his first defense. You sons of bitches.
But yeah, for me, overall, I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. I think it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I think for me, like I'm probably leaning towards a 3 out of 5 out of 5, like for the pay-per-view. But I thought it was a lot of fun.
I would say, yeah, if you want to score, I think a 3 out of 5 is good because I think that
Yeah.
angle and AJ match, like, yeah, you can't really go less than that. Almost, even if everything else sucked, I'd still give it a 3. Say go watch that.
But yeah, that is the end of this episode. I'm going to bring on the reel to once I find the
wheel of wrestling. Now you just got to put on PWG, MLW, Jersey All Pro, Chikara, NEW, RPW. Now I'm just naming my local companies. Whoa, there's a lot of things on there.
Yeah, there's like it's about 800 pay-per-views on here, so I've got enough pay-per-views on here for me to go for at least 20 years.
Oh my god.
Although there's
and the
some
winner chicken dinner. The 5th in your house.
Yeah. And your house number 5. I know it's a WWE. I think.
Yeah, you get Bret Hart versus Bulldog, Taker versus Mabel, Owen versus Diesels. All right.
Yeah.
It's a show. I feel like the In Your House two are short. I want to say.
Yeah.
Like they're usually like 2-ish, right? I feel hours.
Yeah.
That's probably like at the time it was kind of like they would still do like major matches, but it was as far as like because it was 2, I think it would be cheaper back in the day too. Like it was like at least 10 if not $20 less than like a Rumble or a Mania.
Yeah, but I'm going to double check to make sure it's actually on Netflix for me because it might be one that I might not be able to watch. In which case, I'll spin it again for a backup.
Razor Ramon and Marty Jannetty, that's a weird team. Oh, that's weird. I mean, I don't want to give it away. Never mind. I won't say it. You do watch it. Oh, you do watch it. You get the infamous Arkansas Hog Pen match. Do you know what that is?
No, I've heard of it. No, yeah, In Your House number 5 is on. It is definitely on Netflix. So yeah,
Hog Pen, baby.
So it's going to be an interesting one. But there's what the real wants us to talk about next time. So which really enough is appropriate for December because it's called season speechings. So
Oh, nice, nice.
um,
That
sometimes I
works.
like when
Another.
sometimes, sometimes I like when the real like gives us appropriate things for the holidays. But JP, where can people find?
Retroactively, by the way, too. And originally it was just called In Your House, and then later on, when they were like, "Well, we kind of want them to like differentiate," then they
Yeah,
retroactively named like the first few. So I don't know, I just want to be nerdy one more time before I head out. Uh,
yeah, but where can people find you online?
yeah, guys, you know where I'm at, or maybe you don't. I don't know who we are. The Peersco. That's where we do trivia, countdowns. We do rank its, not rank ums. We do there will be quizzes, not there will be trivia. We do bracket battles, not tournament fights. Totally different, y'all. We're also doing clips. That's happening tonight. So is this live or is this airing later?
This is live.
Then yeah, then the clips will be on later tonight if you're watching this live. Then yeah, Pierce Wrestling. Hey, if you like wrestling, which I think if you're watching this, you might do. A lot of wrestling trivia is on there. Exclusive matches never before seen. If you want to see some Jay Lethal matches that are nowhere else, check out that channel. If you want to see, I don't know who else is on that channel. Lots of random people are on that channel. But yeah, other places too. Why Live Horror. I think I'm still one of those champions. Lights Out. I'm a champion over there, and I'm a champion according to my grandma. Thanks, Nana.
um, and you can find me on Take 3 Productions hosting Rankum every Sunday. Next week we're doing top 12 Mark Wahlberg movies.
Woo! Am I on
Should
that?
be.
I'm on that, right?
I mean,
You
if
invite me?
you want, I mean, I haven't officially sent you a message asking you,
Oh,
but
okay. Maybe
if
I'm
you want to be
crazy.
on,
My bad. I thought you did. All right,
well,
I'm high. Oh, maybe you asked me for, and then I said no to Linklater. Okay. No
yeah,
or
with
no.
link that. Yeah, last
Edgar. I said no to
yeah,
Edgar.
yeah, I asked for Edgar. Yeah,
Okay.
there.
Sorry. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry to derail the episode.
I mean, it's playing. It's fine. It's not really derailing the episode. And you can write me on Spear from the Past. Be next time we're talking about In Your House #5 season speechings, depending on what you want to call it.
I should
And
start a show called Gore from the Past. Sorry.
But and I'll pop up here and there on various other places. I still do trivia, but I'm kind of slowly not doing it as much now. But it's just but yeah. But until next time, we'll see you next time.
Don't try this at home. Countdown for the end.